Our Father in heaven, let us bask in your love. Take us close to your bosom and remind us of our oneness with you. Give us the light of your understanding and hold our hands when we stumble over the rocks of opportunity. Help us to know your presence within us at all times. Help us to remember that we are you and you are we. Thank you, Father. Eloah, good evening, my beloveds. I want to speak to you this evening on joy. The joy of giving, the joy of receiving, the joy of living, the joy of breathing, the joy of giving life unto itself. It is our joy to come to you in this way and be with you at this hour in your weekly meetings. I would remind you that there are many, many of your friends on this side who have come to be with you. And there are many such as you who have come to learn and to grow. Many who did not have the opportunity to have this experience while they were in the physical body. Remember to send love to all those invisibles around you, often through the day. And remember to send love to many, many other things. It is beautiful to see your love spending from this realm. It is a joy for us to see your dedication to this beautiful thing of giving love, God's love through you, and being an open channel for God to work through you. There are many here whose task it is to carry this love to the places that you send it. And when you send it unlabeled, then it is their task that they enjoy and do with great joy to carry it where it is needed the most. Remember that God's love is unlimited in power and wisdom, and it knows what to do when you give it the unlabeled, and it knows where to go. And when you send love to your dear ones on either side of the veil, remember that they do receive it, and they know it on this side. Sometimes they know it on your side. When we look at life from here, we think of it as not your side and this side. We see it as all one life, melting and flowing into each other. All the dimensions, and there are many, as your master teacher said, in my Father's house are many mansions. These are the dimensions that your teacher talks about, the many dimensions that house the beautiful souls as they come from your plane to rest a while on this side of the plane before they go back into the physical. There are joy guides, have been called joy guides, that go with you when you feel down sometimes, and they give you the essence of their joy. They are individuals just as you, and they have learned to take life and make it a joy, to live, to breathe, to expand God's love, and to feel the joy swelling up within them and letting it go into your aura. And if you're open and remember to send love to your joy guides and to all of those that are helping you. For you, some of you do not realize that there are many that do help you, many individuals who help each one of you in different ways. And it is good to understand this and to remember it. When you are moving through your days on your plane, going through your play on the stage called Earth, remember that it is just a play. And when you have an opportunity to be sad or to be down, as you call it, remember that you also have the opportunity to be joyful, and it is your choice. And I tell you, my dear ones, you can reach the place in consciousness where you can instantly choose, no matter what's happening around you, you can choose to be joyful, to be loving, and to send God's love immediately into the situation and release it to God and go on about your work and the things that you're doing in a joyful way. Gratitude is a close cousin to joy. When you learn to be grateful for all the beautiful things that you have in life, and this can move you into a consciousness of joy. Be grateful just for life. Be grateful that you are alive and that you know that you are an eternal being that came from eternity and goes into eternity, that has no beginning and no end. Remember that God loves you unconditionally. He never condemns you. He just loves you. I have told you this many times, and some of your other teachers have, but it is something that you need to remember and to get the old concepts of heaven and God out of your subconscious thinking and learn to understand that the whole universe is made from the substance of God's love. Everything that you see is God's love manifesting. On your plane, even the microphone, the carpet, the chair that you sit upon is a manifestation of God's love. And your spirit, your being, your body, and your minds are manifestations of God's love. It is God's joy to give you life, and remember that He is continually giving you life force. And when you unblock the so-called hang-ups in your mind and allow the life and the love to flow through, then you can live life in a joyful way. You can have joy all through the day. But as you go through your day, remember that the so-called blocks and hang-ups do keep you from living life to the fullest. Many of you are making progress and doing well, and we commend you on this. Keep on keeping on, my dear ones. Remember that you are a living God manifesting on the physical plane, playing the role as human. But you must remember that you are God's. When you do remember this, and when you move into your day with this concept and with this understanding, then you know that you are not limited in any way. It is such a great joy to sit in your circle of light, and it seems that our circle gets larger every week. This is beautiful, and I tell you that the circle on this side gets larger every week also. Many hear of your circle and many other circles around the world, and I would ask you to remember to send love to the creative guidelines, as you call it, and to all other groups around the world, because there are many small groups that help keep the balance of your world. These are the ones that really know the truth and are closer to the heart of truth. And the love and the light that shines through them helps to keep the balance of your planet. There are many things happening on your planet at this time that you could be sad about, but remember, my dear ones, it is only a play on a stage. And to some, when they first hear this, it's like a slap in the face, because on the news they hear of many tragic things, but when you know that life is eternal and there is no death, that you come from eternity and that you always have been and you always will be, then you know that you are God's and that you are just away to school on this plane. You are taking lessons, and the experiences that you have are the lessons. And it is not important what conditions are in your life or what the lessons consist of, but it is very important how you handle it, how you think about it. And remember, it is very important that you do remember who you truly are. When you identify with your physical body and the physical plane, and you think of yourself as lowly creatures of the lower dimensions, then you are going amiss, and you are not knowing the truth. Yes, you are on a lower dimension, because your physical plane is one of the lower dimensions, but you are divine beings. All on this plane are divine beings. Most know it not. You are learning to understand that you are divine, and this gives you reason to be joyful. Joy is one of the most beautiful manifestations of life that you have on your physical plane, and that is on these rounds. And there are higher elations than joy, but joy is a wonderful and beautiful experience. I want you to, in your quiet times this week, contemplate joy and what joy is, and practice feeling joy. You know, my dear ones, as Donald has said to you, assume the role in many ways, and to get out of one pattern into another. This is good. And when you are having a quiet time, assume the role of joy, or even when you're going through your day, assume the role of being joyful, of letting God's joy be manifested in your countenance. And from this side of the veil, when you do this, we see your countenance brighten up, shiny and beautiful. And we also see the times when you are sad and depressed at times, and allow yourself to go to the depths. But I tell you, never condemn yourself for this. eliminate guilt and self-condemnation. No one condemns you but yourself. And if another on your plane condemns you, that is their problem, because it is not their right to do this. God only loves you. We, as your guides and teachers, only love you. We see your mistakes, yes, but we send you love and help you over the rough spots when you will let us. But remember, you have free will, and we cannot help you unless you ask, unless you open. These things we have said many times, but it is very important for you to remember. It is important for you to have the consciousness of your divinity. And by this I mean have the understanding and remember that you are divine at all times. If and when you can do this, my dear ones, you will not need this grade or this lower dimension any longer, and you can move up to another higher grade. And when you come back home to rest, you will find that you have grown, that you are higher in consciousness, that your aura is much brighter, and you can experience so much more of God's kingdom. You see, my dear ones, when you allow yourself to move into a higher consciousness, which means a higher understanding of life, and apply it to your life, apply it to your daily living, then it is yours. When you hit and miss, and you are striving to attain the consciousness of joy and happiness and beauty, then it is fine. But when you do it most of the time, then you see it is yours. And there's nothing more valuable than to know the love of God and to know His love and to experience His love. Joy is an attribute of God's love, and it is an offshoot, you might say. And as you move through this experience on this play called Earth, remember to remember. Remember who you are. Do the things that will remind you. Put up signposts. Put up things that will help you to remember as you go through your day. And when you awaken from this side of the veil to the earth plane in the mornings, remember to awaken with a joyful heart, to awaken and be grateful for all the beautiful things that you have. When you can wake up and first become conscious that you're back in the physical and say, "Good morning, God, I love you," and be joyful in your heart, then you have the consciousness of the presence of God within you. And when you can carry it into your day and have it most of the time in your day, then you're far upon the path. Now I see some of your thoughts, and you're saying, "Oh, I wished I could do this. I don't think I can do it. I haven't been doing it." But my dear ones, remember that you of your physical self can do nothing. You of your little self are powerless. But through your God self, you have everything and can do all things. Remember to do these things through your God self, through the higher self, that part of you that is one with God at all times. And when you remember to do this, and just relax and allow God to work through you, then life can unfold and bloom as a beautiful rose, and you will feel the joy and the love and the beauty of God's presence within you and all around you. No matter what is happening or appears to be happening on your physical plane, it does not have to affect you unless you open to it. You live within yourself, within your consciousness, within your soul. You don't live on this planet Earth or in the Phoenix area. You live within your thoughts and your feelings, your moods, your attitudes. All of these things go to make up your consciousness. And as you remember to understand this, and remember that you do have the choice to be happy or unhappy, you do have the choice, and it matters not how close someone may be to you or in what they do. When you remember who you are, you can give them the freedom to be as mean or to be whatever they want to be, and you can retain your freedom to know your divinity, to realize that you are divine, that you are a child of God, and that God loves you so much and so great that the universe cannot contain it. And this is why the universe is continually expanding into more of itself, to contain the love of God that is continually expanding. Let us have a quiet time and stop and consider what has been said, and take into yourself the consciousness of joy and love and peace, and think on these things, and allow yourself to feel them, to experience them, to be joyful, to be loving. It sometimes is not easy just to will yourself to be joyful or just to will yourself to be loving. But you can practice, my dear ones. And as you practice in your daily life, as you practice when you sit down to be quiet and go within, then it will come. You will experience it. You will have the beautiful feeling of joy. As we see your circle of light and the circle of those of your teachers and guides that are next to you, and some of them standing above you a little bit, and then from that circle are the ones who come to learn from this side of the veil. And it is, my dear ones, like a beautiful flower with the different petals and the different rows of blooming into beauty. And as you hear these words and translate them into your consciousness, remember that your teachers and your guides are sending you love so that the communication is much more complete. As we have said many times, your language is the biggest barrier to your real communication on your plane. But when you come to these meetings, these weekly meetings, your teachers and your guides are here sending love. The Master is here this evening giving his love and his blessing because Donald asked him to be here. And many, many that you have known for a long, long time are here to experience this time with you. And they touch in with you, even if they're not your teachers or guides. You have known them for eons of time, many loved ones, and they are watching and helping any way that they can. I want you to remember that when you sit down to meditate, consider placing yourself in this circle. When you go within to be quiet, you see the circle here. Every one is multiplied, the power and the beauty and the joy and love many times. And not just from your side of the veil, but from this side of the veil also. There is no such thing as time or space. So when in your homes you sit down to meditate, in your mind's eye, if you will place yourself in this circle, you will feel the power and the beauty and the joy multiplied many times, because we are always with you. There is no here nor there in reality, but it appears to be from your side of the plane. Would you like to ask questions this evening?
Collage, I have a question.
Yes.
How do you balance self from selfish while you're expressing on the physical plane?
Yes, I see what you are truly asking, and you are asking how to discern whether you're being selfish or not. Is this not true?
True.
Yes. And sometimes there are fine lines between being selfish and being true to yourself. It is very important that you always be true to yourself. And as your writer Shakespeare said, this above all, to thine own self be true, and as the night follows the day, thou canst not be untrue to anyone. So you do have to put yourself first. You see, if you do not have love in your heart, then you cannot give love to others. If you do not have joy, then you cannot pass it on to them. So when you start your day, take the time before your day gets started too much to sit down and align yourself and with the life force and with the God within you and your teachers and guides that are helping you. Get your values straight. Remember what is truly valuable, and then move into your day with joy and with peace and with love. And when you do this, you are not being selfish. You are being your true self. I'm not sure if I answered your question. Can you give me an example?
Money.
I see.
You have money and the universe will support you.
Yeah.
Hope, but you must use it for self. You can't use it for selfish reasons. And I've heard many times in my life, don't be selfish, don't be selfish, don't be selfish. What is being said to me?
Within yourself, you need to decide what is selfish and what is not. Money is a symbol of God's abundance. Life is abundant everywhere present. And from your side of the veil, it seems that this is not true, because there are many starving from lack of food. But I tell you, my dear ones, it is their level of consciousness that keeps them from having the abundance. When you give, everything on this plane is set up for you to have the opportunity to learn to live from within out. Now, this may sound as if I am turning it inside out for you, but I tell you, You need to experience the illusion and know that it is illusion before you can know the reality. In your higher self, my dear ones, you know the reality, and you know true joy and unconditional love. But you have purposely placed yourself in these lower dimensions to go through these experiences, to add to your understanding, to add to your level of consciousness, and to know more of life. The beautiful thing about it is that life is eternal. There is no end to life, and there will always be something more to learn. There will always be something just beyond your reach to grasp and to move into. And when you can think of life in this way, you can be joyful and be grateful and be loving. When you learn gratitude and place joy with it, you will find that you have a wonderful, beautiful experience that will give you the ability to see through the illusions of this plane, to see and know the true reality of your being, the true reality of God. You see, my dear ones, God is everywhere present. He is the chair that you're sitting upon. And when you look in another's eyes, you're looking at God, and you're always walking on hallowed ground. When you think of this and think of life in this way, and it matters not who the eyes that you're looking into, if it is the most hardened criminal as you think of them, my dear ones, it is still God. God is in the depths of each of you, of everyone. He is everywhere present. In all of life, there is nothing but God. This is a bit much for some of you, but when you understand this and approach life from this attitude of knowing that God is everywhere present, He is not somewhere unattainable. He is the life that you are, and He is always with you. He is feeling every feeling that you feel. He is thinking every thought that you think, but He gives you the freedom to think as you will. He loves you unconditionally. Are there other questions this evening?
I got one.
Yes.
So do you just feel like take physical form?
The entity that you know as Jesus that set the pattern for you to go by almost 2,000 years ago has been in physical many, many times. He has gone through all the experiences that you have gone through. Otherwise, He could not help you as He does. And you are asking, is He still coming into physical? Or be more specific as to your question. Yes, he can do this and does do it. And I do it at times. The higher beings that are off of the wheel of reincarnation have the ability to appear to you as a beggar on the street, as a stockbroker, as anything. And we do this at times to help you. And there is a saying that beware, you may be talking to angels. And my dear ones, when you look at each other, know that you are looking at God. And it is easy for us to appear in the physical, but it is not time for us to appear in your circle of light in the physical. In Atlantis, in the time of Atlantis and Lemuria, we did appear on pedestals, and this is where the saying of putting someone on a pedestal and talk to throngs of people about the conditions that were coming about. But the ones who caused the conditions were not able to listen, and the continent did sink, and the land masses changed. I am not going to comment on whether this is going to happen this time or not, but I tell you this, it will depend on mankind's thought as a whole, his thought pattern, as to how the world goes. Are there other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
How can we balance, and how do we balance your negative thoughts? And the Jews, all of the negative thoughts have to manifest themselves in the reality.
Would it not be better to not think of balancing your negative thoughts, but think of thinking only positive, constructive, and loving thoughts? You know, you are accountable for everything that you do. You create your own reality, whether it is negative, whether it is positive, whether it is beautiful, whether it is ugly. These are labels that man has put on different things. But I tell you, they are all just experiences. And you say, this experience is painful, this experience is beautiful and pleasurable. So this is how to judge. Is it loving? And I'm talking about love with a capital L, divine love. This is always how to tell if you are going amiss or if you're going with the flow of life. Is it loving? Does this help your understanding?
Yes, accurate.
Are there other questions this evening?
I have a question.
Yes, speak a little louder, please.
How do you get beyond blind faith?
Blind faith. You have to test the waters, my dear one, and this is an expression that some of you are familiar with. You, let us say that you are at a crossroads and you have 6 or 7 roads that you can go down, and you are asking me, how do you know which road to go down? Is this about right?
Exactly.
Yes. It matters not. If you have 10 roads to go down and you have to go down 9 roads to know the right road to go down, it's all right. You have all eternity, my dear one. But you see, if you sit there and do nothing, then you will never get anywhere. It is much better to go down 9 incomplete roads and find the right one for you than to do nothing. The ones who are fearful of doing something because it might be a mistake are the ones who are sitting on the banks of the stream of life. And when they get back home, they realize that they missed many opportunities. You see, by going down these different 9 roads, you have many different experiences, and there are many things that you can learn from these experiences on these 9 roads. And when you get to the 10th road, that is the one that you feel is correct for you, then you have grown. You have learned. And this is what you're here for on this dimension, is to grow, spiritually grow. This is the only reason that you are wearing this physical body, is to grow, to have a greater understanding. Does this help your understanding?
Yeah.
Are there other questions this evening? It is a joy to be with you. It is truly a joy to sit in your midst and feel your vibrations and be one with you. I will tell you this, my dear ones, that you are no strangers to us. You are known. You are known. And we sit in council just as your large companies would have a board meeting. We sit in council and discuss each one of you, and your teachers ask what is the best way to help you. Remember this and to realize it, and to remember to be open for this guidance. You see, you need not fear of being open to the lower dimensions or the lower entities if you send God's love to all the invisibles around you. If they are of the darkness, they will have to leave or change. If they are your teachers and guides, this opens the door for them to help you much more, and you will receive. But you do have to take the time to listen. When you ask for help and then go on your merry way without taking the time to listen and to be open, then you do not hear the answers. But when you take the time to ask for help and then listen, and if you are not sure that you have heard the correct answer, ask, is this what is the best thing? And you will feel within yourself whether it is or not. This is called discernment, and this is a very valuable thing for you to have while you're going through your physical experience, is to learn to discern, to learn to bring into your consciousness the understanding of your guidance from these higher dimensions, from your higher self, from the God within you. You have help all around you, my dear ones. Use it. It is very valuable to you. There is nothing more valuable than your learning to love and how you are with God. It has been a blessed privilege to be with you this evening. Our love is always with you. Reach out and embrace it and give it to someone else. God bless you, and good evening. Shall we stand and hold hands? Let us think of ourselves coming together in the physical by holding hands as we have been in spirit. Let us think of the higher dimensions of love and light coming down into this circle, going around this circle and being multiplied many times, filling this room, spreading out over this city, covering this whole planet. And let us send love to all the world leaders, to all those connected with the world leaders, to all the trouble spots in the world. Let us send love to the whole universe, because God's love is unlimited, and we are very powerful when we come together in one accord as we are tonight. And remember, when you sit in your quiet times, think of this circle and think of your invisible friends and let them help, because they're always there. Thank you, Father.
You don't know how to do it. It couldn't expect the ball.
If you was
When you are people, when you live too wild, yeah, it's that. Vậy đây như
you take a contact and tell me.
This is a nice circle tonight.
he's going to pass out those speech on how the soul.
Oh, yes.
The true in there. You know, I thought about asking that before he charted, so I didn't know what it is about. It occurred to me that asked that.
That's fun.
If you would write, if you had conceived out how to sing what they were talking about.
Yeah. If there's not enough right.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Never ceases to amaze me how when the masters him through the teachings, the message becomes very personal.
Yeah. Back in Oklahoma, 30 some odd years ago, we would be a group about this size, and every time we'd go away and say, that was just for me, everyone was free. That was just for me. The teacher, Elois said at other times, they look into our hearts, into our minds, and can see where we are and what we need to hear. And it's good to know this, and good to understand that that help is there. I call on it many, many times through the day.
There's one thing that I've never understood in the Ivy Limited comes.
It really isn't limited, you know. There's no such thing as limited. It appears to be limited. And you remember the Master said, judge not by appearance, but judge the righteous judgment. And righteous means the right usefulness of the law. And from our point of view, your point of view that you're expressing, you're thinking, how's this claim being limited? But you see, what you call limited is a great opportunity for you to grow into a much higher consciousness. So we turn off our memory of who we truly are when we come into the physical. Not always. One of the regression tapes that I played this Saturday will be the one about Atlantis, where the lady spoke the language of Atlantis. But the other one, she went to the experience of death and talked about her heavenly home, as she called it, and then came back with her memory. And it was the guru, a teacher, just way high to her mother, a little child. And people from miles around would come and listen to her wisdom that she talked about. But most of the time, we need to close off our understanding of our divinity so that we will have something to push it in. We will have those things to bump up against to learn how to instantly react in a loving and positive way, instead of automatically reacting in a negative emotional way. What do you think about that? That's like that.
That's really what I was saying. What you say that we are limited. I'm saying that we make ourselves limited.
Yeah, on purpose. And in this circle, from the physical point of view, you really can't see who's Lord of that spiritually. because you're judging from this level. And many times in a class I will say, perhaps every one of you are more advanced than I am, and you're just playing the role of student, so I'll have the opportunity to play the role of teacher.
When you speak about Atlantis and understanding the different languages, does Ella understand different languages, or do you have to know his language for get to be translated?
Well, Ella and the master is, as I say, don't deal in language, but they see your thoughts and know what you're talking about much more than you do most of the time, from this level. And so it helps. You're coming to something else called talking in tongues. And some of the churches have this, and they speak gibberish. But one experience that I heard of is a lady was in the hospital, and she was Spanish, and she didn't speak English at all. And there was one of her friends knew a lady who was a healer, and she brought her to see this lady. And so this healer and this lady carried on the conversation, and what else they did, I don't remember. But after they left, this lady said, "I didn't know you spoke Spanish." She said, "I don't." But she knew everything that she said and was able to return the communications there. Now that's what I think something is going to mean,
Thought transfer.
yeah.
Did you know when the first started channeling, he really had problems expressing himself to them more lightly, and as he continues on, you can't tell, but he just wasn't, to speak the English all the time, but he had a little problem. Words and everything else himself. Just to practice, he's not.
Back in Oklahoma, it was a real unique experience when I was first wedding channel. This lady and I were working together, and we had a little guy named Gaika, and he didn't speak English, and he had to learn to speak English in order to talk to us, and it was real limited, and he could tell. But I asked him about my grandfather. He said, "I go see everything but that, And he came back, and he said, "I go tell a man to come see, and he no believe." But this has happened several times. When we were a new couple had come into the group learning to make contact. They would practice in the group, and then until they got to a certain level, and then they practice at home.
So another thing is your teacher can guide for language, so thing if we want to I have a guide that calls himself the Lady. It said, "Where did you get that name from?" He says, "From a comic book." So that's what he wanted to be.
Yeah, there are many entities, very high entities that El will bring in. They that came from outer stellar space to be with us, and to talk. They would talk a little while, and somebody would ask for a name, and they didn't give a name. But El once says, "Your name is a peg you hang your personality on." And some of the teachers said the name is really not important. Then every once in a while, some of us say it'd be too difficult to bring it into your language.
That must be found.
It's not lost.
No, I'm saying discovered. rediscovered.
It already has been somewhat. There's several times, years back, they have discovered it contained under the sea, and all of it is not under the sea. I'm not sure exactly the location, but there are artifacts from Atlantis that are above the sea. And Lemuria also.
Mood. The land of mood.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think Mark asked a very valid question that most of us have stumbled and said, whenever there are problems or in some very moments of something that comes up and difficult for us to deal with, to use the again pit. That's part of the learning process. The joy of being unlearned.
And if we could remember to be joyful and grateful for these opportunities, most people call trouble and problems, then they would fade away and they wouldn't be a trouble to them. We put labels on things. This is a chair just because we put a label on it, called it a chair. In reality, it's life, manifesting of a chair, because we've named it that. Or you're an interesting class, Mike. I want to encourage you to come Saturday because you'll learn a lot from that. And we just had a self-hypnosis class this past Saturday, and we'll have another one in May. It's on the brochure there. I think it's the 13th, but you should look and see. And this is where I asked the new students to start in the structured classes. And if you're new here or haven't come to the structured class, talk to some of the people around you, because you get a much better version of it from them and me, because they had that experience. I only have experience of being a teacher now, and see it from a different point of view.
Buildings being through all. Look, afraid to stay through all. Like that?
I think Ben
I've been through almost all. Talk to me.
like it's the 50s.
Well, we've done stuff enough.
You're waiting for your self-awareness class. Yeah.
Ready. And I said before that self-awareness class for the most important needs.
Don probably get the meat and that.
If you really put everything into it, I would like to take it.
A lot of people do take it the second time, and sometimes the third time. There was a lady that called me, I don't think she's here tonight, that been 14 or 15 years since she's been to the class today. And she, I think some Saturday, and she said she felt that she'd gotten out of step with life, and she needs to get back in and do something.
For you to then help in, it's just, you don't even have to try. You fall into all these bad habits.
Well,
The good ones you have to really work at daily.
because you've been doing them so much longer, in this segment of time, as we think of time, it's just, this is a plane of negativity, and it's all around you, and so we're programmed as children to be negative, and so it's easy. When you have a computer and you program it a certain way where you're going to get garbage in and you get garbage out. And we have a lot of garbage that we allow us to come into our consciousness and back to the ground.
we placed this, displaced it, and then replaced it. I'm not allowing yourself to give it any power of thought.
They're over. Good.
How do you choose to something not speak though in
Pride, mind is there for. We want